All right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. We've got Sammy Go Blue back here for the Sammy Go Blue show here on the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. Sammy, welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you here. And Happy New Year. We're recording this on New Year's Day, January 1. Sammy, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year to the ATR crew. And all I got to say is it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. What a game. What a game.
Yes. So we're talking about, yesterday on New Year's Eve, Michigan played Alabama. What was the line on that? They were a pretty big underdog, weren't they? Was it double digits?
I think 16 and a half, 16 points.
Yeah.
And I think it was growing. Similar to the Ohio State game.
I mean, unbelievable. Going into that game, Michigan had, four of their studs on defense not playing. No Mullings, no Edwards.
So this goes back to what I said earlier. I don't know what episode. But I guess we are a team. We're in the phase. We're at the stage where we just next man up.
Yeah.
And we're not losing talent. And next man up in them trenches. Next man up in that running back field, Jordan Marshall. Pretty impressive. I saw him a few times take some good licks and just get back up.
Yeah.
It's looking bright. It's looking bright. Real bright.
Yeah, you're going to need to take those glasses off and put on some sunglasses because the future is bright, Sammy.
Yes, sir. Put my SB, my tan, lotion on. Don't want to get burnt.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they got the number one recruit in the country, Bryce Underwood, and I saw a recent ranking, and I'm sure there's a ton of different rankings out there, but they were top or one of the top teams ranked in, I guess you'd call it navigating the portal.
Hey, they're cleaning house in the Wild West portal and NIL culture that we're in right now. They are cleaning house. And what's going to be interesting is you got schools like Alabama they don't have the money like Michigan. They don't have the alum. They're actually begging for money from their alums. Like, we need money to keep us competitive. And that's what's like really stood out to me is the flexing that the University of Michigan has done as far as taking a hold of this culture and capitalizing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, there was two players from Alabama that were actually on Michigan's team last night playing or sitting on the sideline.
Right.
That were, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's
they were their top running back and one of their I think they're one of their defensive linemen.
Yeah. It's
just weird.
Well, it's interesting you brought up the NIL situation. Yeah, I've heard the same thing that Alabama just cannot compete nationally, or more specifically with some of the teams in the SEC, like Texas and Texas A&M.
Well, first of all, Texas itself is one of the biggest dogs that can afford anything, any payment. They got bottomless resources.
Same with
probably superior to Michigan, to be honest with you.
A&M's the same way. They've got all that oil money.
It's rich oil money.
Mm-hmm.
And they like to see their team win.
Yeah, and Alabama just can't.
Now the NCAA's open the door for them to open their pockets.
Yep. And Alabama just cannot compete with.
You can't compete with it.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting else? Something else that came off the radar or came on the radar this week that I don't know, people were talking a lot about it. It kind of shocked me. And it's that Jim Larrangera from Miami who just said, "Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
this is crazy. I'm done."
Coach.
And yeah, so that kind of didn't blow my mind. But I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I want to see how this is gonna pan out, and who else is going to, decide to say, you know what, I'm done. This is crazy. But on the same token, it's going to drive these younger coaches or any coaches to adjust and adapt and understand that there's real money involved, and we better have good relationships with our boosters. We better win, and yeah, we're gonna. It's almost like you got to change your whole business model.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to succeed in the wild west culture that we're in right now with NIL transfer portal, it's just wild.
It is.
I mean, it's like, I know we've harped on this a lot, but it's borderline not fun no more.
Right. And now here's another crazy thing. They changed it used to be if you went the JUCO route, those 2 years at JUCO
Right.
counted as towards your 4 total years of eligibility. Now they don't. So now you can
They
go to
don't.
JUCO for 2 years and still have your 4 years of eligibility.
That's the thing. So the NCAA is saying, okay, you don't have to go to the pro. You could stay here for as many, I won't say infinity years, but this kid's almost pushing a decade.
Yeah.
And you can make a living now, and you don't have to go to the pro. So it's crazy, these kids that are just staying, and they're that it's allowed to because at that point, if you've been in the, let's just say they're like Alan Bauman, 7-8 years in there.
Yeah.
So that means you're 25, dude, playing against 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I heard. So Michael Penix, he's obviously a rookie now in the NFL. He was in the same high school class with Justin Fields, who's what, in
Isn't
his
that
third or
wild?
fourth year in the NFL?
I mean, I just don't get it, man. It's just like something's got to happen. Something's going to at some point they're going to have to step back and reform this because it's getting wild. But right now, I can't complain because Michigan's definitely one of the top players in this new culture
Heck yeah.
that can come into anybody's household and offer, I guess, money. I mean,
Right.
real money.
Real money. Big money.
Real money. Let me ask you this question though. If the University of Colorado says, Travis Hunter, we want you for one more year, we're going to give you $6 million to stay, would you stay?
Absolutely.
I mean, it just blows my mind now that somebody like Travis Hunter can ask for that and probably get it if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And then look at the draft board and say, you know what? I really don't want to play for that team or that team. I want to go here and just have that type of control where they can actually say, you know what? I'm not going to play like John Elway did and Archie Manning, Marchie Manning, or not Archie, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
That whole fiasco where it's really crazy how the player now in the NCAA has a lot more leverage.
Yeah. You wonder too if this is going to end up resulting in, the NFL, NBA, readjusting their rules or their limitations on rookie contracts, because
right,
if they want these kids to come to the NFL or to the NBA, they're going to have to make the rookie contract rule like where they can get paid more money. Otherwise, they're just going to stay in college for another year.
In college, why would I go to a franchise I don't even want to go to? The draft board, the teams that are going to be the following year, you may have a better shot at going to somewhere you like the next year. And I got a rich donor that's going to pay me $6 million just to play football here at Colorado. And he says, what? He says, I don't even have to play defense if I don't want. If I don't have to play offense, I just play defense. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Like, it's crazy how the player now, the NCAA player has, and it's a select few. Not every player has the leverage that a Travis Hunter has. But there's players out there, probably good 25 of them that have leverage and can say, hey, I want more money and I'll stay, or I can go to the NFL. It don't matter to me.
Well, what's crazy is how we were on one extreme to now a whole nother extreme. Like it went from like super strict, guys getting suspended for the most ridiculous stuff, like accepting
Get
a
the big man.
jersey or a pair of shoes, to now
Right.
it's just completely out of control.
It's completely out of control, and it's not. It's getting to the point, like I said, it's not fun.
Right.
It's like I guess I grew up just I followed them when they were in high school. They get to Michigan. I followed them for 3 or 4 years. I followed their career, but that's not happening now. It's like really anybody can. Your roster can change. Anybody's can leave unless you're like Bryce Underwood that's getting paid really good. There's no loyalty anymore. I
No.
mean, look at Michigan's basketball team. You got a player from Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no loyalty no more.
They're going to have
So
to, in order to, I think the portal is what's ruining everything more than the NIL. Um, and I think the two are kind of intertwined. And I think that one way to keep kids at your school is with the NIL. They're gonna have to sign a contract, or they're gonna have to commit to not leaving. You know, if you want to make X amount of dollars, then you need to stay here for 3 years.
something's got to happen because it's just wild.
Yeah.
Um, it just blows my mind the money that's getting thrown around.
I mean,
I mean,
look
life change,
look at Indiana. Like, it's not even Indiana. It's James Madison's team from last year.
right?
That's crazy.
Right? Oh, yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy that you got players like Alex Orji to sit on the sideline that's going to go to Florida State next year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Or the kid, the running back from Alabama that's watching his new team beat up on his, I guess, old team.
It's so weird.
But
Well, all
with
right.
that said,
Oh, go ahead.
what a great game yesterday. Still no quarterback. Um, but still solid on the trenches, and that's where you win games. Like I've said all year long, the trenches, the trenches, the trenches. Um, with all the personnel that wasn't playing, next man up, and they looked really good. I mean, it basically looked like last year's Rose Bowl. They had Milroe they're blitzing. They had him frustrated. What I don't understand about this whole game is similar to the Ohio State game. Going into halftime, they whip out 2 touchdowns. I'm like, okay, these guys ain't dumb as Ohio State. They're gonna pass it. They're gonna
Yeah.
it's done. They're not gonna do the same thing Ohio State did, and they didn't. But I mean, to the point they did. I mean, they only mustered up. They didn't muster up any points in the second half.
No.
Alabama's.
And,
It's weird that it played out similar to the Ohio State game.
and how about the fact that in the last 2 games that Michigan played, Ohio State, Alabama, they only gave up a combined 23 points.
They're stingy, so stingy. They're physical.
Yes.
It's a defense coordinator's dream. You know, um, I don't know. It's so gratifying when you see like we were critical of Wink Martindale's blitzing, but on that first series when it was 4th down and 4, we came in on a blitz and he dropped back and there was nobody. There was 3 jerseys around. He collapsed on him and he had nowhere to go. That's what's exciting. Really exciting about this team in the future is just the trenches have been solidified.
Yeah.
The culture is still there, and it's nasty on defense, blue collar on offense.
Yeah. What are your thoughts now as we see now we finished a full year, Sherrone Moore, head coach. He was I think he was taking a little bit of heat kind of throughout the season. They finished strong. 2024 season now over. Overall, what are your thoughts on Sherrone Moore?
Sherrone Moore did the best he could with what he had.
Okay.
If I were to give him a grade, I'd give him a B. Obviously, we were jaded by the national championship, and we came in with higher expectations. Reality hit, but the way he ended, the way that last month ended, the way the bowl game ended, definitely for the month of November and December he gets an A. Now 7 or 8-5, what we're accustomed to, no. But we did 8-5 with no quarterback.
Yeah.
Really no quarterback.
And let's not
Or
forget,
something yesterday is worse. I mean, you got worse, I think.
we had to play 4 teams that are in the playoffs.
Right.
4 teams that were in the playoffs.
4 teams. 30% of the playoffs we played.
Unreal.
Unreal. So at the end of the day, 2 dominating wins between 2 powerhouses. He gets a pass this year for me. All right, that's all I gotta say. He gets a pass. What he's doing in the recruiting trail, what he's doing in the portal world, what he's done in the NIL world. Although I'm still not a big fan of the paying Bryce Underwood $10 million. To me, he looks like in between Milrow and Orgy. You know what I'm saying? But TBD on him. But he's winning the portal, winning the NIL game. I have to say, I feel like we're in good hands.
Are you aware of what our schedule looks like next year?
I did look at it. I know we have Oklahoma next year.
Do we go to Texas?
No, we don't do that till 2027.
Okay.
We got New Mexico home. Then we're at Oklahoma, Central home, at Nebraska, Wisconsin, at USC, home against Washington, at Michigan State is all I can see for right now.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have an early trip to Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So the schedule's favorable.
Lot more favorable schedule than this year.
Yeah, the schedule is more favorable. You know, if there's any kind of hiccups, it'd probably be, we got road games at Oklahoma and Nebraska and USC.
Will we play? Obviously, we're going to play Michigan State and Ohio State every year. But as far as the teams, what's that?
No Penn State, no Oregon.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Do they, outside of, obviously we're going to play Ohio State, Michigan State every year. Outside of that, will the other Big Ten conference games be, rotated?
That's what I'm thinking. I think they're going to rotate them. Their scheduling. If you look at their scheduling, it's all based on. To me, when I look at it, it's all based on TV. How they're gonna, what time slot they're going. Obviously, if it's a big game, they're gonna try to get them at night. So it's just, yeah. I don't see any really anything too challenging except we got to go at Oklahoma, Nebraska, and USC. I feel like those are all winnable.
Definitely.
They're all on the road. They're all on the road. So anything can happen, especially if they're night games. But definitely, if I had to make an early prediction for 2025, I think we're in the top 12 next year. We're playing in the playoffs. Hopefully we have a bye, but it would be kind of cool to see Michigan Stadium in the game in December.
Yeah, that would be.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a team from the South that has to come up here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if the team we had this year had that schedule,
oh yeah,
we probably would be.
Right? Yeah, just think if we could have knocked off either Oklahoma or if we could have knocked off either Oregon, Texas, one of those games and beat Indiana and Illinois and won out.
Yeah.
We could have very well been in the playoffs this year, but we can't do that without a quarterback.
Right.
I mean,
right.
So I feel like we did the best. We maybe overachieved, but we did the best we could with what was given, what was left over from last year. But we had to deal with it.
And I think a lot of people thought Michigan was a playoff team going into the season, and I think we were thinking with our hearts, not our brains. Because what were we thinking? We didn't have a quarterback. How the heck are we going to make the playoffs?
Well, at the beginning, Orgy was supposed to, we didn't know what we had with Orji, other than we saw him a few times. He's a physical specimen. Now it's his turn to shine. Well, he just didn't translate. It just
Yeah,
didn't.
but we knew he couldn't throw the ball though.
Well, you think you had all off season to change and work, and but I knew you couldn't throw the ball, but I just felt like you had off season and knowing that you were going to be the guy next year, you would have at least fixed something. But
Yeah,
it could have been a red flag when Sharon Moore wasn't announcing his starter for game one.
true.
So that was a red flag right there to me. But high expectations, finish strong. Happy Wolverine fan.
Yep, and I think if there was realistic expectations, we probably overachieved.
Right. We probably overachieved. But you know what? Until January 20th this year, that clock goes 0-0. We're still defending national champs. Beat Bama twice in 12 months. Beat Ohio State twice in 12 months.
Yes.
So
All right, Sammy Go Blue. Anything else you want to touch on before we put the Michigan football 2024 season to bed?
No. Like I said, we probably overachieved. Roller coaster of a season. It was a season of months. September was hot. October was hot or good to us, although we had a couple losses in October. And November, it didn't matter. We got the best victory at the end.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter how that month went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got early Christmas present. And then the way to end it yesterday, I can't be any happier. I'll be smiling for a week like this. For 1 week. I'm happy. All right.
All right. So hey, let's transition then to Michigan basketball. We'll that's kind of what our topic will be here now until March. I'll admit I haven't watched them play much yet. I've been too into kind of football stuff.
Gotcha.
Trying to make
So-
sure. So
Here's where we're at with Michigan basketball. If you want me to
yeah,
bring it up.
correct me if I'm wrong though. I think they do open Big Ten play on Saturday
Yep.
with USC.
Yep. I think it's out there.
Okay.
I think it's away. I'm pulling up the schedule. I had this up and then it went off on me. So yes, they play at USC this Saturday. They do, and then they're it looks like they're going to be in LA for the week, or at least for a few days, because they're going to do a back-to-back with USC and UCLA.
Okay.
Okay. The next Sunday they got Washington. Here's how the schedule goes for the month. They're gonna go on the way into LA to USC and UCLA. They come home January 12th, play Washington. They go back on the road 4 days later to play Minnesota. Come home to play Northwestern on the 19th. On the 20th, they go out to Purdue. No, on the 24th, they go out to Purdue. On the 27th, they end with Penn State. So not a bad schedule. It looks like you got to go out, you got to take a West Coast trip. And that's always tough. I always feel that's tough because of time change.
Yeah.
Other than that, you got Purdue on January 12th.
That'll be tough.
So at Purdue, it looks like. So the trip the trip out to the West Coast and the Purdue games seem to be the only games that I feel like looking at their schedule will be challenging. But it's the Big Ten, so every game's challenging. But those are the games I feel like if we could really, I'd like to win those 3 games. As far as the team itself, they got a nice little squad. They lost to Oklahoma. Here's what concerns me about them. Their losses, they've lost all their games, have all been tight and lost one or 2 baskets. Okay. Some of the coaching at the end has been a little concerning. Dusty Spade and the game coaching. Okay. letting the kids play a little too long, not calling his timeouts. I thought all three of those games that they lost, and they lost a great game to Arkansas. They lost a great game to Oklahoma, and they lost a great game to Wake Forest. Those
Wake
three
Forest.
games.
I did watch the Wake Forest game.
So those three games, they were had a shot at the end.
Yeah.
So, in the coaching world, that's something he's looking at, and looking at is I guess 2-minute game situation coaching. But that's the only thing I can say about the team right now. Now, guard play, excellent. They got depth. What's really impressive is this Danny Wolf kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. Don't get confused with handsome. All right.
He's not easy on the eyes. Let's be honest.
He's not easy on the eyes. But Vlad, what they got going on with the other guy, the Vlad the Russian, as I call him, the Russian, that came from FAU, Vlad Golden, is you got a legit high-low option every single time.
Yeah.
And with this Wolf kid, he can pick and pop, he can dribble, he can shoot. And it's really, really, really amazing what he can do with his size. He comes from Yale, so he's cerebral. He's not going to lose games for you, for sure. I can see this kid's stock rising, but legit, right now they have everything you need to make a run.
Yeah,
everything. Guard play, they can penetrate, they can shoot. In the post play, like I said, they got a banger with the Vlad Golden, and Danny Wolf is just a lottery pick that can do anything, I think.
And Golden is somebody that I think kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he's definitely cooking now.
He's definitely cooking now, and he's just, you watch him play and you're like, this guy can't be that good. He's not that good. I don't know. He seems like a 2x4. You know what I'm saying? Just stiff, but he's not. He's actually pretty good, and he's a dude. He's the guy that you want on your team that's going to get down and dirty, down low.
Yeah.
Mix it up, grab rebounds, that type of stuff. But he has a decent offensive game. But Danny Wolf is legit. He is legit. Trey Donaldson, Rudy Gale, all their other guards. Let me take a look at the roster here.
They shoot it well.
They shoot it well. The kid from Alabama, Sam Walters, I think his shot's so ugly, but it goes in. He's a nice little spark off the bench, and it seems to give him a spark every time he comes in. Whether it's three, he's tall, lanky, shoots threes, but he seems he comes in and he gives them a spark. But Bullshatter, another guy that similar to Golden, just a banger and does the hustle things and can score, and he can shoot and score. He was no slouch coming out of high school. Okay. He was top one of our top recruits. So this season does not concern me. We have what it takes to make a run. We have what it takes to be competitive in the Big Ten. The only thing that concerned me was the 3 games we did lost, and I watched all 3 of them. All 3 were great games. Some of the end of game stuff was a little concerning.
Hey, two more things for you. Number one, in the little bit I've watched, I've enjoyed watching their offense. I like ball movement, and it's so much more enjoyable to watch, easier on the eyes than the Juwan Howard offense that we saw the last few years.
Oh, I know. God bless us. God bless him. I miss him, but yeah, it wasn't it's totally different, and I like the movement, like you said. I really like when I guess I'm a little more old school. I really like when we go to the high-low action, and just like in our motion offense where we tell that guy to pop up, and then the bottom guy pins, and you're looking for high-low if that ball goes to the corner of the elbow at the elbow. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I guess I'm old school. I like that kind of stuff. and I see that we are good at we do that, and we can do that, and we're effective at it.
And then lastly, what? And again, I haven't watched many games lately. I know he got a few minutes here and there the first few games of the season that I watched. Fat, Mr. Basketball.
His minutes is decreasing. I've noticed. He's not getting as much tick. He can drive. I mean, that was one thing I noticed about him is he can get to the hoop. I don't know if maybe the stage is a little bit too big for him. It doesn't look like that, but it kind of does. But I just know that his playing time has decreased. He's one of those kids where I don't know what's going on every day, so I don't know. It concerns me. Other than as we talked out earlier about the transfer portal, he may be somebody that could take off after a year.
Sure.
But I see him a lot with the Pippen kid. They seem to be like this.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see who leaves after this year.
Okay.
Who is the portal? But as far as right now, I just think Fat probably needs to get a little stronger and a little quicker. And but if he stays, I see potential there. If he stays, I see him making an impact, just not this year.
Yeah, which I mean, he's only a freshman. I mean, that's kind of
right. And I guess Sammy Go being a little harsh, on him.
Not all freshmen are Cooper Flag, okay?
Right, not all freshmen are fab like we've been accustomed to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. All right, 5 times.
All right.
I guess it's a learning transition period for him.
Yeah.
But I saw him play earlier in the season. Like I said, as of late, I haven't seen him play as much as he was in the beginning of the season.
Okay. All right, Sammy Go Blue. As always, thanks for joining us here on the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. Any last words you got for us before we enjoy the rest of our New Year's Day here?
No, I just want to say, and I can't stress this enough today, what a great way to end the season, the football season.
Ear to ear.
Smiles. If you see Sammy Go Blue in public, you're going to see him smiling. All right? Just tell him, keep on smiling. And I'm going to shine like a diamond for a minute. All right? Is that cool? I can't express how happy I am how we ended the season.
Awesome.
We solidified the culture. We got troops coming, reinforcements coming. Right now, if Michigan is not in the playoffs next year, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Basketball season, look out for them. They're going to make a run.
Sure.
I feel it. All right? Everybody, take care. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Take care, brother.